Blog Talk Radio.
To another episode of Two Lit Tuesdays right here on Endie Fiya with your girl Nikia. How y'all doing? Yo, I'm feeling good. Like I don't know. You follow me on social media. You know, yesterday was a pretty rough day for me. Was yesterday Monday? Yeah, yesterday was pretty rough for me. My son deployed on Saturday to Kuwait for the next 13 months, and they finally got there sometime Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, I got the opportunity to talk to him for a little bit Sunday night, and then Monday it just hit me like, whoa, like my son's gone, you know. But like before when he was in Texas, it was different, you know, because he was still in the States. But like now, yeah, so it hit me really hard yesterday, and I allowed something that I've always talked about in a different light. I allowed depression just to take over yesterday and do what it needed to do, allow me to just wallow in, you know, my thoughts and everything that I was feeling. And, you know, I really couldn't cry like I wanted to, but I just allowed myself to just be in that funk for yesterday because I knew, you know, when Tuesday rolled around, now you got to come up out of this, all right? So I always tell people that depression is mind over matter. If you allow yourself to stay stuck right there in whatever it is that's going on, that's where you're going to be, you know. But you have to have the strength to pull yourself up out of that. And so I've trained myself pretty well, you know, to have my days. I think those are the times when God can speak to me the most, and I can actually get up the next day renewed and refreshed. Granted, I don't sleep through it, but I can still get up the next day and be renewed and refreshed and stay focused on what it is that, you know, I need to get done for that day, for that week, for that month, those things that I need to accomplish. So again, you know, have your moments. If you need your time away, you know, from your friends, your family, from reality, you know what I'm saying? Have your moments, but then have enough strength to be able to pull yourself up out of it. And if you don't have enough strength for yourself, contact me. I got you, all right? Remember, we in this thing together. I want to briefly talk about the last show. If you tuned in last Thursday, we had the battle rap, wow, the battle rap lyricist, Brendan James out of Virginia was here with us last Thursday. Young man, you know, very, very cocky. Yeah, that was the word he used to describe himself. He said a little bit conceited, and yeah, I think he was, but he has a lot going for him. And so I'm hoping that once he can overcome or learn how to balance those demons that he has, you know, within him and, you know, that are battling in his brain, you know, that he's able to have a prosperous career as a rap artist. We did not have an episode last Tuesday, but on last Monday we had New Music Mondays. You know, we introduced more new music, and the 7-year-old Melody Starr out of Raleigh, North Carolina, with her new track, her first debut, I should say, hip-hop track, On Go. Yeah, we dropped that. Let me see. Human on a Mission. That's from my family over there in the UK. Robbie Raps. We dropped that as well. And some more. So make sure that you're tuning in this coming Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for New Music Mondays. We'll bring some more of the hottest music from some of the hottest independent artists in the country. All right? I don't really have no hip-hop news to talk about other than, hey, you guys listen to Jesus is King yet? Yeah. I need to see more feedback on it. Like, I think a lot of people are so stuck on what what Kanye did last year. They're not really, messing with him anymore. And so they didn't want to listen to this album. I don't know what it is, but, then you don't feel that his transition is authentic, and so, but I've had a lot of Christian people, so to speak, talk about it, and they're impressed. They were those who weren't really, down with Kanye before, but now, they're actually hearing the message and they're hearing what he has to say. Let me tell you, it takes a special type of individual. You can know Christ, but you cannot be in Christ, all right? So some of the tracks will hit you in a way like you understand completely where he's coming from. As a Christian, you may hear and think, I like this, sounds good, you know what I'm saying? But when that shit really hits you and resonates in your spirit, you know what I'm saying? Those of you who are in Christ, you know what I'm talking about. And so there were several tracks that did that to me, and I was blown away. I always listen to an album, or the EP once, and then go back and listen twice, and then by the third time I've made my decision. You know what I'm saying? But this one here, like the first time around, it got me the first time around. So, and I'm still listening to it. So I recommend, you kind of lay your thoughts to the side of how you feel about the man in general, and listen to what he's bringing. Listen to this piece of work that he's, bringing. Again, Jesus is King, released last Friday, and then Jesus is Born, due to be released on Christmas Day. All right? My guest this evening was born in one of the liveliest boroughs in New York City, the Bronx. Levina Lye has been singing since the age of 3 and was presented with many awards at a young age. When her parents relocated her to a more peaceful setting in upstate New York, the newfound silence helped her to cultivate feelings of loneliness, standing out, and being a rebel into poetry, which would later become songs on her 2 EPs, Pieces of Me and More of Me. She has covered songs by a wide array of artists, from Black to Adele to Drake to Rihanna, and my favorite, The Weeknd, and many more, as a way to sway the world over to her own poetic songs. Her covers became known as the Emo Queen remixes, as she began to own every song that she took on. Levina Lye's rendition of Wicked Games by The Weeknd spread like a wildfire, and was even banned in Germany for a bit. We're going to talk about that, y'all. Her first EP, Pieces of Me, has been critically acclaimed by several members of the press, such as the Urban Daily, Soul Train, All Hip Hop, the Hype Magazine, Swerve Radio, and many, many more throughout the years. Her singles Fade Away and Fall were international successes, and Fall charted number 4 on the Coca-Cola Countdown in Africa. Levina Lye is a real artist, a true musician, if you will. October of last year, she released her second EP, More of Me, which has taken the world by storm. On this EP, she unleashed some harsh truths on her single, Your Song, and personal thoughts that she felt her supporters needed to know. Everything she does is for them, and to let them know that as they grow, she grows alongside them, truly showing that she is human in every sense of the word. Endie Fiya listening audience, I present to you this evening my guest, singer and songwriter, Levina Lye.
Hello, everybody.
How are you? Let me, because I didn't get a chance to tell you this before the show. Thank you for being here this evening. You could have been anywhere, but you've taken the time to give so freely of yourself to me, as well as my listening audience, to just give us a little bit, of insight on who Levina Lye is, and, talk about, your music. So thank you, because, again, you could have been anywhere this evening.
Well, there is nowhere I would rather be. Let's start off with that. And thank you very much for having me and for introducing me to your audience. That is greatly appreciated. And I am honored to be here.
Let me back up just a little bit. I'm gonna do a lot of backing up in this on this show tonight. It's not very often that I get a chance to interview somebody for a second time. And then not only that, but interview them a second time because I interviewed them the first time on my first show. Right? So I had the opportunity to meet Levina Lye about 5 years ago through my mentor and record label CEO of Metal Music Records, Franz. I instantly fell in love with her sound because of a very racy cover that she did that I mentioned in the bio, Wicked Games. I loved the Weeknd back then, still love the Weeknd, but when I heard this, I thought, oh my, who is this, you know? And then I saw the video. All right, guys. Now you're probably wondering why there's bands in Germany, because you know the lyrics, to Wicked Games, and they're not that bad. But we're talking about 6 years ago, and we're talking about a video. The visuals for this cover were insane. All right, now if you look at it now, you would just think, all right, that's like some pre-Pornhub type shit. All right, now, but 6 years ago, I don't think a lot of people were doing that. And in the Weeknd song, like she made the song so that it was it related to her. All right, so a lot of where he said to her or where he said to he, she was saying, the opposite pronouns. Little girl and girl action in the video. Let me tell you, just go check it out. It's on YouTube. So I can completely understand why it was banned. But that's when I fell for her. Like, her sound was amazing. Her voice was amazing. Right? And so I thought, we got to get this girl on the show. We got to interview her, you know what I'm saying? And so over the past 5 years, the energy hasn't died. We don't talk as much as we used to, but the energy hasn't died. And so, again, I recommend you go check the visual out on YouTube. How did you first start doing the covers?
Well, I only do covers that I really relate to as a human being. Forget about being an artist. I touch on songs that I really relate to. And The Weeknd at that time, I felt like I really related to The Weeknd because I felt like we were both mentally and emotionally in the same space. So whenever somebody's hurting or whenever somebody is going through something heavy in life that they don't know any other way but to express through music, that's when you'll see me do a cover. And I think I'm always going to do covers because I do express myself through my own music, but sometimes there are songs that I hear from other people that I'm like, wow, you feel the same way I feel. And that is why I make music, because I know that there are people out there who will feel the same way as me, that there isn't a voice for them. And that's why I'm very particular about the covers that I pick and perform, because these are songs that I know took a lot out of that artist to put out there. So once I hear that, like, I'm real comfortable to jump on it because it's a truth. It may be their truth, but it is also my truth. So I will always do covers in that regard. As long as I keep relating to people, people will keep relating to me.
You said something just then about The Weeknd, how you felt when you did that cover that you were able to relate. And you know what? That never really clicked in my head why I love his music so much, because I don't think he's put out anything that at some part in my life I haven't been able to connect the dots and be like, you know what, wow, like everything he's talking about, I've been there, I've done that, I'm doing that. You know what I'm saying? His music is so relatable to me. But I want to back up to the very beginning. Your bio states that you have singing since the age of 3. You come from a musical family?
I wouldn't say I come from a musical family. Nobody in my family sings or is musical, but both of my parents and my brother loved music. We're obsessed. We always played music. At the age of 2, I was like jumping around to Jump, which was a big song at that time. Or I think I was 1 actually, and my parents had it on videotape. of me, like, just knowing, like, being so in tune with music. And then I grew up and I figured out I could be in chorus and I could learn more about music, and it never, that desire, that passion to sing never left me. So it is hard, I would say, because I'm the only one who loves music this much. Like, out of all my friends, out of all my family, out of everybody I know, I've never met anyone who loves music as much as me. And it can be a little discouraging sometimes because when I talk about my passion for music, I feel like people look at me like I have four heads. And it's like, no, like, everyone here has a purpose. And I specifically feel like God put me here to make music and to keep people going and to let people know that, just because you have a talent doesn't mean you don't suffer, doesn't mean you don't hurt, doesn't mean you don't go through things. I go through everything that everyone else goes through, but I can just put it into a song and I can sing about it, and that is my therapy. So, yeah, I really just always want people to know that, like, at the end of the day, I'm human. I'm not exempt from anything. I'm not above anything. I just happen to love to sing and to write.
Well, so I went to college in upstate New York. I went to Syracuse, and the dynamics of life in the city versus the serenity of life in Syracuse kind of took me by storm. How did your moving upstate as a teen turn you into, or blossom your music career into what it has come into now?
I really think that it just gave me more time and more freedom to really kind of figure out who I was. I feel like my whole life I've kind of known who I am. I didn't just wake up one day and, I'm this person. My whole life has kind of been developing me to be this person. And when I moved upstate, I didn't really have too many friends. I was away from my family because all my family still to this day lives in the city. So if I want to be close to my family, I have to travel. So it was a lot of isolation. And when there's a lot of isolation, what do you have time to do? You have time to self-reflect and write. So I started just writing poetry. I started writing songs. And I'm thankful for the isolation. I mean, there were times where I felt really lonely and away from everyone, but it helped me to kind of figure myself out. And now that I've grown comfortable with just being alone, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm very to myself. I'm very just sometimes in my shell, in my bubble. But this is where I need to be to create. It's just the recipe. Now it is like the way that it goes for me. It has to be that way.
I've seen your genre defined as pop and experimental. What exactly makes up the experimental genre? Because my mind wonders, like, the many ways that you can experiment through sex. That's where my mind went the first time I read that. But for those who may be listening and don't know about the experimental genre, how would you describe it?
Experimental for me is I want people to be comfortable with me experimenting. I want to do rock songs, and I'm actually doing a Linkin Park cover that I am going to be releasing this week along with a video, and it's Linkin Park, so it's going to be something really different. But I want people to be okay with the fact that I can sing an Adele song, I can do a Drake song, I could do a Rihanna song, I could do a Black song, I could do a The Weeknd song, I could do a Justin Bieber song. but I want you guys to accept that from me. I've always been really adamant about not being put in a box because I get kind of upset when people call me an R&B singer. And even to this day, it's like, if I want to do an R&B song, cool. If it feels good and it sounds good and it works and you guys get the message of what I'm trying to say, that's great. But I don't want you to just box and label me as that, because then when I want to do a song like Monsters off of my EP, or I want to do a Linkin Park cover, I don't want you guys to be weirded out and be like, okay, what is she doing now? She's reaching.
Right,
but I'm not reaching at all. I'm really just being myself. So I kind of just want people to accept, when I came into this game, I honestly wanted a band. I wanted to do the rock thing. It just became very hard for me to find people to commit to that and who understood my sound. So over the years, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, but that's also me. So, yeah, that is the Emo Queen. The Emo Queen is very versatile. She can do a little bit of everything and make you love it.
Are there any particular artists that influence your style?
Right now, I did mention Linkin Park. Chester, the lead singer, was one of my favorite. He is one of my favorite vocalists. Before that was Haley from Paramore. So I've always been really influenced by people on the edgier side. Even The Weeknd was very edgy to me at one point because of the topics that he was singing about. And a lot of it was very deep, very dark. That is the kind of artist that I am. I kind of talk about the darker things in life, the deeper things. I don't want things to go over people's heads, and I don't want people living in a fairy tale land thinking that my life is sugar plums and rainbows. So I do tend to get very real and very honest, because if I can't be honest anywhere else and nobody else knows what I'm going through, then music is the one place where I can say my truth.
I want to briefly talk about your first EP, Pieces of Me. I swear I had Fall and Fade Away on repeat for like 6 months straight. And as I mentioned, both of those singles were international successes. Fall did chart number 4 on the Coca-Cola Countdown in Africa. I watched that weekly. I couldn't wait to get the messages or the emails to let us know what position that single was in. Excuse me. But were there any other high points in your career during that time?
The people that I was meeting, the networking that I was doing, the real fans that I was able to acquire. I would honestly say that some of the fans who have been supporting me since Pieces of Me are still supporting me to this day. So that EP really helped me out in so many ways, because I feel like it showed people who I was as a person. And I'll be forever grateful for that, because once I kind of proved myself to people, I had a fan for life. So that is the high point. More so than the numbers and sales and positions on a countdown, what I care the most about is relating to my supporters and knowing that they see me. That is the most important thing. So the fact that I've been seen, that will always be the most valuable thing to me.
I think that's something that a lot of artists should grasp. Nowadays I look at artists and it is about the likes, it is about the numbers, it is about the position, but you're not really seeing what you're doing with your audience. You're not really seeing how you're affecting your audience. Is your purpose or whatever, your mission, your personal mission is, are you fulfilling that daily when it comes to not only the career, but your listening audience as well? And I think a lot of artists, they haven't grasped that concept. Or they might have had it for a little while and then it just flew over their head when, the numbers started looking like what they needed to look like. The bank account started looking like what they wanted it to look like. The audience kind of got pushed to the side, but you got to realize that, everything that you're doing is for this listening audience. If I stop listening to you today, and word of mouth, that's something that affects a lot of people. If I stop listening to you and I tell the next person that, hey, her music is garbage, and they tell the next person that her music is garbage, you know what I'm saying? Then those numbers that were increasing now begin to decline. So you always have to look out for your audience. At the end of the day, you got to look out for, your fans, your followers, and your supporters. So then last year, you released your second EP entitled More of Me. I want to get into the track I'm a Star. Let me briefly tell my listening audience about what it took to write that song, what went into writing that song, what that song's about.
Well, I'm a Star is one of my favorite songs off of the EP. I love them all individually. I can't say that I have a fave or one that I favoritize more than the other. They all took me on a journey, or better yet, I should say I went through a journey to write them. And I'm a Star was my therapy, because the 3 songs before that were very hard, very deep, very dark. They were kind of like cries for help in a way. And I'm a Star comes and it talks about me seeing myself the way that I should, and how everyone should kind of see themselves, because we all go through these dark times in life where we kind of question ourselves and who we are and why we're here and what is our purpose. And I'm a Star reignited in me my purpose here. This is why I'm here. This is what I'm meant to do. No matter what I'm going through, I have to know that my purpose is music, and I'm a Star. Because nobody can write these songs like me. No one can sing these songs like me. No one can deliver these songs like me. I am me. I am one of a kind. I am an original. And that is what makes me a Star. That there is no one else like me. There's no one else that thinks the way that I do, that feels the way that I feel every day. There might be people who do feel how I feel, and this is why I write these songs for them, but not like me. So I'm a Star was my savior in a lot of ways. It is a song that I listen to and I'm feeling like I don't know what I'm doing. That's my go-to, because it's like, hello, like remind yourself who you are, where you are, what you've been through, what you've accomplished, and here you go, like wake up. So that is I'm a Star.
Right, and I'm a Star is number 4, track 4 off of the EP More of Me, correct?
Yep.
All right, if you're just tuning in, you're live right here on Two Way Tuesdays with your girl Nakia and my special guest Levina Lye, and this right here is I'm a Star.
I hop on the beat and I kill it. And no, I don't write less to feel it. These bitches will never have nothing on me. They know Levina is the realest. I weigh in on so many truths, and my therapy's in the booth. These bitches will never have nothing on me. Can't you see that I can never lose? Erase what you heard, forget what you think. It's my time to rise and your time to sink. You gotta see me across the TV, so try not to hate and try not to blame. Erase what you heard, forget what you think. It's my time to rise and your time to sink. You gotta see me across the TV, so try not to hate and try not to blame. 'Cause baby, I'm a Star. things in my songs that they're scared to say. I do it to keep me from fading away. I'm back down to earth from a spaceship. Got talent that cannot be wasted. These bitches will never have nothing on me. Can't you see I can never be basic? Erase what you heard, forget what you think. It's my time to rise and your time to sing. You gotta see me across the TV, so try not to hate and try not to blink. Erase what you heard, forget what you think. It's my time to rise and your time to sing. You gotta see me across the TV, so try not to hate and try not to blink. Baby, I'm a star.
Hey now, what's good? It's your girl, Jana Blackwell, C-Town Records, Mistress of Soul, and you're on the air with the hottest independent station, Endie Fiya, with your host, Nakia, giving you that heat right here on the station, bringing you all of the hottest hip-hop hits, Endie Fiya.
Thank you, Jana. If you're just tuning in, you're live right here on Two Lit Tuesdays on Endie Fiya with your girl, Nakia, and my very special guest this evening, singer-songwriter Levina Lye. Let me tell you something. The first time, typically, you guys know I don't listen to the music before it comes on the show. I'm going to be in awe just like you are, or I'm going to not like it just like you don't. But I've been listening to this EP since it came out. All right, so this song to me, and as she was explaining how it was her favorite song, I'm nodding my head like, yep. To me, this song is one of those empowering, one of those words, anthems. Kind of like Lizzo, in her song, Good as Hell, where she says, in the morning she does her hair toss, she checks her nails, baby, how you feeling? Feeling good as hell. Yeah, this right here, I'm a Star, is, very empowering for me. And sometimes you do got to sit back, check yourself, and realize, the things that you're going through, they may be temporary. Some things may last a little longer than others, but at the end of the day, you have to realize who you are, what you are destined to do. And that song right there embodies all of that. To all of you who are listening, I feel the same way she does about that. You're a star. You need to put that in your playlist and get yourself a little motivation every day and play that right there. That's I'm a Star by Levina Lye off of her second EP, More of Me. In what ways has your newer music changed from your first EP?
The crazy part is my fan base says that my sound has changed, right? But the funny part is it hasn't at all, because a lot of these songs too on this new EP I've been writing for years. And when I say years, I mean like years. My first song on the EP, What If I, that song took me a good 8 years to write. And it's unbelievable to say that, but I had to live as a person to fill in those verses. A lot of these songs I started writing when I was in my teenage years, and I hadn't even been through enough to even really go into detail about what I wanted to say. And then when I really experienced hurt, when I experienced depression, when I experienced being let down, or then these songs kind of just poured out of me. So I really don't feel like my sound has changed at all. It's just a matter of time seasoning me to release them. So I will always be the artist that I am, but it might be different to everyone else and it might be new to everyone else, but to me, these are just my experiences coming to you when it's the correct time to talk about them.
And you've answered my next question already. I personally, in the sound, the quality of your music, quality, I believe, is richer. You yourself, I feel like listening, you sound the same. But you can tell there's growth in you, the individual, and that is conveyed in your lyrics. So I know that you've grown musically, you've grown as an artist. But how important has it been for you to grow as a person?
Very important. It's the most important thing. Because if I hadn't grown as a person, you guys wouldn't even hear this second EP. So I really had a lot of, I don't want to say adulting, because I don't want to make people think that like being hurt and going through negativity in life, that's not adulting. That's kind of unfortunate for anyone. And but I want people to know that just because you do go through hard times and you get hurt, that you have to get back up. You don't stay down. And that is why I wrote I'm a Star, because I found myself going through these really hard times where it just felt like I was never going to see the light of day again. And one day I heard that beat for I'm a Star, and it just ignited something in me that felt good, and it was a reminder to myself that I should always feel good about myself, despite what's going on around me, despite how people treat me, despite how people may make me feel, even if I'm not getting the support that I need or want. That should never take away from me as a person. I should never look down on myself because of other people. And that is why I also want the people who listen to me to know too, like you should always feel beautiful. You should always feel like you're the ish, because you are, and people don't define you. So that was something I had to learn through the years, and I'm still learning and I'm still struggling with it, but I'm getting better at knowing my self-worth and knowing that it's not based on anyone else.
I recently had the opportunity to view the visuals to your single, Your Song, off of your latest EP. I know that there is a story, a true story behind the lyrics. You care to share?
The funny part is the video doesn't even touch on half of that story, but I wanted to make a video that was relatable to people without it being, what is the word? Without attacking anybody, because that I don't do that. People can do hurtful things to me and effed up things at times, but I'll never be petty. I'll never expose these people. I'll never, because I know what it's like to be put in the limelight, and we're human. Everybody makes mistakes. But I had a lot of hope and a lot of faith in somebody, and it was betrayed. And it is exactly what it says in the song. You got to lie in the bed that another female laid in. That is my life. It's not, I'm finally getting to a point now that it's okay. Like, it's not okay, but it's okay because it happens, and I'm not exempt from, being played with or being cheated on. People will often look at me and be like, why? You're so beautiful and you're so talented and you're this and you're that and you're such a great person and you have such a good heart. But because of those things, it doesn't make me better than anybody else, or it doesn't mean I'm more likely to not get hurt. If anything, I'm grateful for the experience, which sounds really crazy now, but I am because I learned the ultimate thing. I learned forgiveness. On both ends, on this female's end and on this male's end too. I learned how to forgive two people who didn't give a fuck about me. So, with that being said, I'm just grateful because it taught me to never, I don't want to say never let my guard down because I don't want to be guarded toward the world. I don't want to feel like I can never, be myself around people. But it taught me to only show myself to the right people and know that the right people will see me and the right people won't have, ulterior motives toward me or think that they can get over on me. So I learned that, and I'm grateful because I have an amazing song too to listen to from this experience. When I first recorded that song, it was really hard for me to listen to that because it was a major truth. And who the heck wants to constantly hear a reminder of something horrible that happened to them? Nobody. But I got to the point with it now that I realized, man, if I went through this, I know other people have went through this, and they need somebody to let them know that you can get through it. So that is what that song is for.
I tell people all the time, being transparent nowadays is key because your situation may be something that someone else is going through, and how you chose to get over it, get through it, or get around it may be just what that individual needs to be able to do the same thing. So I don't think it's crazy what you said. I'm thankful for every bad experience that I went through relationship-wise because they have made me into the woman that I am today. They've made me into a better person. You know what I'm saying? And you talked about forgiveness. You don't forgive people for people. You forgive people for you. That's how you heal, when you forgive others. So that you were able to get through that. Will it happen again? Probably, because we're human. You know what I'm saying? But you realize that, I can't give all of me. Everybody doesn't deserve all of me. And you'll know the individuals, whether it be friends, whether it be, relationships, you'll know the individuals that need and deserve every ounce of you because those people will be the ones that keep you encouraged and uplifted and motivated so you don't find yourself in that predicament again. And if you do, they're going to be the ones that are there to be able to hurry up and yank you up out of that. So I salute you on this song right here. When I saw the visuals the first time I watched it, I was like, what? What is this? Then I had to think about it. All right, remember the song? Because, I heard the song first, right? And so I was like, all right, so now you're going to go back because I only made it through like 34 seconds when I watched it first. And I was like, you know what? Go back. Remember the song itself because I do everything in bits and pieces. So I'm either going to listen and I'm going to hear this or I'm going to recognize this beat or, you know what I'm saying, or I'm going to see the visual and I'm going to be able to put two and two together. And then at first I was like, you know what? No, let me go back and watch this again. And then as I begin to remember the song and remember reading somewhere about how personal, this was, it does tell you in the beginning that it's a true story, but as I begin to remember all of that and put everything together, everything just kind of laid and flowed perfectly. All right, so if you're just tuning in, you're live right here on Two Lit Tuesdays with your girl Nakia on Endie Fiya, and this right here is your song by Levina Lye off of the More of Me EP.
your sleeve. Should've known you would play with my heart. You just ain't the rest. I know from the start that ain't you. But only hurt me. What was I thinking? It wasn't clearly gonna you. Burn me like a flame. Use me like a drug. Then threw me away. More you. I know good for me. And finally I see that I could see it in your eyes. You're not happy. So if you wanna leave, you can leave. Never needed nobody to be here. Say it twice and repeat after me. So much weight on my heart, feels so heavy. Feel so empty inside, I can't sleep. Gotta lie in the bed that's too late in. And you don't know how it's killing me. It's killing me. Gave you my heart, yes I gave it to you. You gave it back, it was broken in two. Gave you my heart and you threw it away. Cannot believe that you hurt me this way. Gave you my heart, yes I gave it to you. You gave it back, it was broken in two. Gave you my heart and you threw it away, 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 away. I could see it in your eyes, you're not happy. So if you wanna leave, you can leave. Never needed nobody to be here, and I don't need nobody to be. You can stop with no blame as excuses. It does nothing for my self-esteem. Gotta lie in the bed that you laid in. Sleep with those and you're bound to conceive. Ooh, oh, oh.
Hey yo, what's good? It's your boy Jerusalem from the Scarfella Music Group, and you on the air with the hottest station, Endie Fiya, with your host, Lil Timmy and Nakia, right here on the station bringing you all the hottest hip hop hits. Endie Fiya, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it.
Thank you, Jerusalem. If you're just tuning in, you're live right here on Cultivate Tuesdays on Endie Fiya with your girl, Nakia, and my special guest this evening, singer and songwriter, Levina Lye. Yo, you know what? When I listen to your song now, it doesn't affect me as much as it did like the very first 9 or 10 or 11 times that I heard it. Like, again, when you've gone through so much and you grow through so much, you hear things differently and you receive them differently. So, again, I feel like, everything that you went through to be able to come to that point to, express yourself as truthfully as you did in that song. And the visuals, guys, you got to go check out the visuals because they're funny as hell. I mean, you really try to get into the song itself and listen to the meaning of the song and really, oh my gosh, like I really relate to what he's saying. And then you see the visuals and this clown ass nigga, you just be like, don't take my word, go to YouTube, check it out, all right? That's your song, also the More of Me EP by Levina Lye. How important is being able to promote self-expression and individualism to you?
Oh, it's all I've ever stood for from day one. Me coming out as Levina Lye was my way of saying, this is me, and like, I'm not going to change for anyone. I'm not going to change my sound. I'm not going to change my look. And I'm going to make the music that I want to make because this is who I am. And I can't imagine anyone out there not being themselves because we get this one life to live, and you better live it to your best ability, the way that you want to, how you want to, without any criticism from anybody. Don't let that phase you because There's so many people not living their truth, and they don't even realize how they're affecting themselves, their legacy, the memories that they leave behind. When I'm not here anymore, I want people to know that I was me. I want them to listen to this music and know that was me. I want them to watch the videos and know that was me. It wasn't something that I did just for a show or just for an act. That's really who I am as a person. I kind of wear my heart and my pain on my sleeve, but I do it so that other people who are going through what I'm going through, who don't sing or who don't write music, their feelings and their portrayal of who they are sometimes gets lost. And I feel like that's where we as artists, we are the voice for a lot of people, because their stories aren't being told. So I always encourage everyone to be their true self and to love themselves and to appreciate who they are, because there's only one you out there. There will never be another.
Those words are so true. What would you say has been the biggest barrier as a female in this industry that you've had to overcome?
I think it will always be the same thing. For me, specifically, because I'm not like everyone else. I don't believe in being half naked to get you to pay attention to me. I don't believe in showing my ass or my breasts all over the place to get you to pay attention to me. I want people to pay attention to my mind. I want people to pay attention to the way that I think, because it's my mind that separates me from everyone else. Everybody has ass. Everybody has titties. Yes, we all know this. Great. It's the matter of who chooses to flaunt them out there and who doesn't. But I believe the greatest thing about me is my mind and my talent. And what's been really hard for me on this journey is not giving in to what it is that the world wants to see. Because I'm pretty sure people want me. You know, I have the looks and I have the body and all that stuff to do that, but I don't feel like that's me. I can be sexy if I want to. I can, play little games, little mind games, and be sensual. And sure, that's fine every now and then, but for me to be like that on every song, every track, every video, absolutely not. Because then you totally lose sight of who I am as a person, and then I get defined by sex, and that's not what I want. I want men to appreciate my beauty, but not my beauty only on the outside. What oozes out of me from within, I want that to be appreciated. So I feel like that's been the hardest part about being Levina Lye, is everybody knows, obviously, sex sells. Look, we got Megan Thee Stallion, we got Cardi B, we got Sweetie, we got everybody doing the most, over the top, like showing everything everywhere. And my body is a gift. I don't feel like everybody should be seeing that. I'm not getting paid to do all that, and even if I was, it still demeans me in a way that when I do want to say something deep and when I do want to say something heavy, y'all are not really going to feel it and really embrace it, because you're so lost in the artificial shit that I show you. So I really want people to start appreciating artists for their minds, for their gifts. Forget about what's, the package on the outside. That does not define me. I got the same parts as every other woman out here. So that is not what I want to be left behind. I want people to really appreciate my lyrics and the fact that I'm uplifting and the fact that I'm human.
And I think that Levina Lye possesses the total package. The fact that she does not conform to industry standards, of how our females should look in this industry, because she is her own individual. She respects, and I'm not knocking any of these females. I'm not saying, that they don't respect themselves. But when you look at what's posted on social media, the hurtful things that can be said because of a way a female carries herself. You know what I'm saying? For her to realize, for Levina Lye to realize that this is what makes her special and makes her unique as a performing artist, I think that is your greatest asset. That you have the total package, that you do have the external beauty, but the internal beauty as well, that you are uplifting, that you are motivating, that your lyrics, they meet people. If they're struggling, what you're going through, it may be something that they're going through as well. So your lyrics meet people so that the capability to be able to possess all of these qualities and be smart, you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, that's a lot. That's something that you just, you don't find in a lot of individuals. And I'm not knocking the mainstream females that, are setting these examples and being role models for our youth. But I think that a lot of our youth need to look at independent artists like Levina Lye and say, that's who I want to be like. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who keeps it real. I remember when she gained some weight. Oh, this was funny to me. A few years ago, she gained some weight. She's always been nicely, proportioned, but she gained some weight. And the post, I don't remember how the post went, but it was so uplifting, to her. And I pulled one of those pictures. I know you sent, your own particular pictures, but I did pull one of those pictures that, you can actually see the weight gain looks healthy on her. And she's able to display everything, but also leave you wanting and imagining, for more. And I feel like that's how our young ladies should be able to carry themselves today. You are our future. You're setting the example for the youth that are looking up to you. So, you should carry yourself in the way that I see looking like doing. So shout out to your mother. I know your grandmother played, a huge part in your life as well. Shout out to those ladies for setting the foundation for you. Giving you a path to follow and walk upright in. For a independent artist listening right now, who they've heard you, maybe they heard you for the first time, maybe they've been following you for years. I do see a lot of people in queue tonight. So thank you, you all who called in to listen to the show. I'm sure you wanted to give your shout outs, but I wanted her for myself this evening. All right, it's been 5 years. So for somebody who may be listening tonight and they're like, you know what, I got the total package. You know what I'm saying? I got the sound. I've been doing this for a minute, but I'm clueless. I don't know which direction to go. What piece of advice could you offer that independent artist?
It's basically what I just said. Like, just be yourself. Don't feel like you have to conform. A lot of people may see that as a downfall for me as to why I haven't, become some extreme major mainstream artist. But I don't feel like I have to sell myself short to be a mainstream artist. I want women to know that you can be smart, you can be deep, you can be yourself, and that's got to be good enough. Because I don't, like I said, when I'm no longer here in this world, I want to leave behind a legacy. I want to leave behind a feeling of the fact that you could relate to me. And I feel like if I dumb myself down or portray to be somebody I'm not, you're not getting an authentic version of who I am. And I can't be anybody but me. So I really want to encourage every up-and-coming artist, male, female, to know that you should be yourself. Be who you are. Be who you were born to be in this world, and don't conform and don't change and don't rearrange yourself and make yourself uncomfortable, because you have to live with that image that you put out there. And once you put that image out there, people are going to expect you to live up to that constantly. So the moment you do it, that's it. You've kind of set a fate for yourself, and just always portray yourself accurately.
Strong, positive words of advice. I want to go ahead and open up the floor to you now so that you can get all of your contact information out. For those who may be listening live, or for those who may come back and listen to one of the many playback shows, If they want to get you, they want to collab with you, if they want, you want to show, whatever the need may be, the floor is now yours to get your contact information out.
Well, I'm on Facebook. My Facebook fan page, Levina Lye. I'm always active on there, always posting new shows, new interviews, new anything that I'm doing. Also on Instagram at Levina Lye. I respond to DMs. Anybody who wants to collaborate. My only advice to you is if you do ask me for a feature, please make sure that your music is to par. And I don't pick on people who, have the dream but may not have the
right.
They're not at that level yet. But if you have a message and you have a goal that you're trying to accomplish and you want to put out something meaningful, then I'm the artist to do that. But if you're just trying to sell sex, like I said, then no, I'm probably not the artist you want to hit up. I'm on Twitter. All my business, anything, I handle on my email, levinalye@gmail.com. Anybody serious about working with me on anything, you can email there, and I will respond. I'm extremely professional, but I'm also human, so I treat everybody accordingly. I'm very down to earth, so don't ever hesitate to hit me up. And also, outside of that, just as a human being, as a person, if there are any people who are struggling mentally and emotionally, don't hesitate to hit me up either, because I feel like a lot of my purpose here is to pull up those who are falling, because a lot of the time I'm falling too, and I have to pull myself up a lot, but I'm strong enough to do that and to pull others up also. So anybody struggling with mental health issues or even struggling with suicide, I'm here. Like, I understand, I get it, I know, and that is my purpose here.
Isn't it great when you finally realize what your purpose is in life, and then you start living in it? That is like the most feeling, and I'm about to turn a year older in a couple of months, and it took me, a long time to realize what my true purpose was in life. And then once I began to not only live it, walk in it, be the example that was needed for others, I think things just, they turned around for the better. And so as she stated, if you're going through any mental health issues, thoughts, if you need to just talk to somebody and you don't want to reach out, to the 1-800 number, the call centers, you have, and not that they aren't real persons, because I do work the call centers, but somebody that you can really get, one-on-one with, be on that level with, somebody who's gone through what you're going through. Reach out to her. She's LeVinaLye on Facebook, on IG, on Twitter, and also Levina Lye at gmail.com as well. All right? Thank you so much again for joining me this evening. It has been a thrill. Again, I don't get the opportunity to re-interview a lot of artists, and then someone who's been in my life for this span of time, as she has completed her second EP. She has the cover, Lincoln Park cover and visuals coming up this week as well. Somebody who's had that longevity with me, it's always a thrill to be able to be in your presence, quote unquote, again. So thank you. Your family, you're welcome back at any time. Just want to let you guys know that on this Thursday, it's Halloween, and we close out the month of October. There will be no show because I have a speaking engagement to attend. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of those now. So we'll be back on Monday, the 4th of November, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for New Music Mondays. All of your new music that's been released within the last, 45 days, you want to go ahead and get it sent in to my assistant, Monica, at info@indiefireradio.com. There may be some, it may not be, your response may not be as quick as they have been in the past, As Levina Lye just mentioned, we're all humans. Well, Monica is pregnant with twins, and she's been put on bed rest, all right? A lot of you do know that Monica moved a couple years ago, 2 years ago, to Germany with her husband. So the time frame, the time difference makes, the time frame also makes a difference. And then the fact that now she's on bed rest, all right? So I do have several people that are going to be coming in and helping me out for the next 2 months, to make sure that we end the year out smoothly. But again, no show this Thursday, back on Monday for New Music Mondays at 7 p.m., and then back on Tuesday for Too Lit Tuesdays with our recording artist, Linda Washington. You may remember her. We debuted her track. Don't give me the line on the name. We did debut her track a couple of weeks ago. She is a breast cancer survivor as well as a domestic violence survivor. So we're going to have her on the show talking about, of course, those areas of her life as well as this new track that she's released. That is, it talks about being able to love again, because when a woman goes through breast cancer, she may not feel beautiful. She may lose love for herself while she's going through that. And then to go through domestic violence as well, there's always in the back of my mind, what am I doing wrong, or what could I have done better? Or, again, that woman may lose confidence and faith and love in herself. And so this track talks about being able to love again, not only yourself, but somebody else, realizing that you are here for a purpose, to be able to give and show and spread love, right? So that's Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here with Linda Washington. So until Monday, you guys have a good night.